Mark has, questions. He mentioned that he thinks that I perhaps was dodging some questions or like not kind of directly answering stuff. So I want to give him a chance to ask me whatever he likes on the subject of race. And I'm happy to give answers or just discuss my thoughts on any aspect of the conversation. So, Mark, you have the stage, brother. Feel free to discuss whatever you like.
Okay, well, thank you, Contraband. I guess, I haven't been able to reconcile myself to the fact that I'm even here. I'm no authority on anything. I have no particular deep knowledge of the racial issues. I've done my share of reading. I guess I operate in a very simple mindset, one that I grew up with, one that worked for me through my life. And the observations that I've made through my life, which include the 1950 civil rights days, the 60s, and events from then on, I kind of lost touch with everything back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s as I went into business. And my career was business development, national and internationally. So I had my head down and pretty much was involved in all of that. I did join Discord in 2019 or 20. I'm not sure. It might have been 19. And I was interested in joining dialogue with the Black community to better understand issues from their perspective, to better empathize with anything that I found myself interested in or dealing with. I've had a myriad of conversations, arguments, and debates with many, I guess, all, quote, populations or races in Discord. That it would include probably 5 different servers. I guess I have absorbed some information. I did gain some valuable information in understanding some of the positions and arguments, particularly relative towards Black contribution to the, I'll call it, accelerated growth of Europe and the accelerated growth of the colonies and America through their contribution as labor in the sugar and cotton and tobacco industries. That is not an insignificant thing. Capitalism involves land, labor, and capital, and to a great degree, they were the labor. So there's a tremendous contribution for which they never received acknowledgement or recompense, really. So, okay, I got a feel for that. I got a feel for how that all developed from Africa through South America, the islands in America. And that was all good and interesting. So I've benefited from my time invested. Now, how does that distill down to what I think about race today? For the most part, I don't. I have a very simplistic view that hasn't been altered by all of the discussions, including a brief one with Glenn himself. Christopher Hitchens, who I had a one-on-one with on Islam, not particularly racism. But many qualified and competent people on Discord. They have educated me a lot. And I see all of us as Americans, it's time to move past that, where anybody can really think about what is important as a nation to focus on, what's important as an individual to secure one's economic life for their family. I think I am rather, or I don't like orthodoxies. I'm not very good at that, but I am orthodox about the American Constitution and the intent of the American Creed, which is the first sentence in the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. And that simply is the right pursuit of happiness, opportunity, justice under the law, all of that idea. Obviously, we opened up with that being a farce in a sense for everybody other than the founding uh, white population in those days. And we've had a terrible struggle, in my opinion, to get where we are today. Slavery, I can somewhat, I never condone. I would have been an abolitionist, I'm sure, if I lived in those days. But I can understand historically how that played into human development from the beginning of time. So I can kind of choke that down. What really disturbed me was a true reflection on American segregation and the general population, the attitudes I saw when I was younger, some how that changed. So American segregation is just the biggest of several sins. But I lived through the 50s. I lived through the 60s. I was not quite a great academic in at any time, but I did pay attention to certain things. Silly in a way. I mean, what eighth grader does a term paper on the reconstruction of Germany after World War II? I mean, but that's I had interest then. I took great interest in the civil rights movement at the time. We all had to, and we all should have. Malcolm X, I admired and respected very much and understood his point of view. I empathized with that. And then I went off on my career, and now here I am. I believe that we should be striving to all of us to embrace the American creed. I think the Constitution, despite all that people could argue with in various points, is still the best method that we can think of to handle politics. I think we're under attack by global socialism. I think they're winning. I don't think the future for our nation looks good in the vein that I would like it to see. So I'm an interested observer in that. And that's pretty much me.
Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support and see you next time.